Hello guys! How are you doing today? Welcome back to Denson channel. I hope everything is fine. Please join me today as we discover the fourth point in San Francisco, California in the USA. Fort Point is a National Historic Site. It is only the brick fort on the west coast of the United States, built by the United States Army between 1853 and 1861. It defended the San Francisco Harbor against invasion by foreign powers. This fort is a classic example of the early 19th century coastal fortifications. The Civil War broke out shortly after the fort's completion. Advances in technology during the war, such as rifled artillery and ironclad ships, made it less effective as a defense. Still, it defended the harbor another 30 years before the fort's cannon were removed in the 1890s. In the 1930s, engineers used Fort Point as their headquarters when building the Golden Gate Bridge. Then, during World War II, it defended the harbor against enemy submarines. In 1970, Congress made the Fort Point a National Historic Site, part of the National Park System. Now, let's look back at the history, guys. Fort Point, known historically as the Castillo de San Joaquin, is a masonry seacoast fortification located in the southern side of the Golden Gate at the entrance to San Francisco Bay. It is also the geographic name of the promontory upon which the fort and the southern approach of the Golden Gate Bridge were constructed. The fort was completed just before the American Civil War by the United States Army to defend San Francisco Bay against hostile warships. The fort is now protected as the Fort Point National Historic Site, administered by the National Park Service as a unit of the Golden Gate National Recreation Area. It is now popular as a tourist viewing point of the Golden Gate Bridge. In 1769, Spain occupied the San Francisco area, and by 1776 had established the area's first European settlement with a mission and a presidio to protect against encroachment by the British and Russians. Spain selected Punta del Cantil Blanco, a promontory with a high white cliff located at the northwest part of the bay entrance, to construct a fortification. The Castillo de San Joaquin was constructed in 1794. Subordinate to the nearly Presidio de San Francisco, it was an adobe structure housing 9 to 13 cannons. Mexico won independence from Spain in 1821, gaining control of the region and the fort. But in 1835, the Mexican army moved to Sonoma, leaving the Castillo's adobe walls to crumble in the wind and rain. On July 1, 1846, after the Mexican-American War broke out between Mexico and United States, U.S. forces, including Captain John Charles Fremont, Kit Carson, and a band of 10 followers, captured and occupied the empty Castillo and spiked the cannons. Sometime during the Spanish and American eras, the Punta del Cantil Blanco came to be known as the Punta del Castillo, which was carried over into the era of the U.S. sovereignty in rough translation as Fort Point. Following the United States victory in 1848, California was annexed by the U.S. and became a state in 1850. The gold rush of 1849 had caused rapid settlement of the area, which was recognized as commercially and strategically valued to the United States. Military officials soon recommended a series of fortifications to secure San Francisco Bay. Coastal defenses were built at Alcatraz Island, Fort Mason, and Fort Point. The U.S. Army Corps of Engineers began work on Fort Point in 1853. Plans specified that the lowest tier of artillery be as close as possible to water level, so cannonballs could ricochet across the water's surface to hit enemy ships at the waterline. Workers blasted the 90-foot cliff down to 15 feet above sea level. The structure featured 7-foot thick walls and multi-tiered casemated construction typical of third system forts. It was seated to defend the maximum amount of harbor area. While there were more than 30 of such forts in the East Coast, Fort Point was the only one on the West Coast. In 1854, Inspector General Joseph K. Mansfield declared, "This point is the key to the whole Pacific coast, and it should receive untiring exertions." A crew of 200, many unemployed miners, labored for 8 years on the fort in 1861. With war looming, the Army mounted the fort's first cannon. Colonel Albert Sidney Johnston, commander of the Department of Pacific, prepared Bay Area defenses and ordered in the first troops to the fort. Kentucky-born Johnston then resigned his commission to join the Confederate Army. He was killed at the Battle of Shiloh in 1862. There's so much history on this fortification, guys. So watch the whole video and enjoy the sceneries around the Fort Point in San Francisco Bay. It is strategically located facing the Pacific Ocean, which is a gateway going to San Francisco in California, USA. Hello guys, we are now here in the roof deck of the point, the Fort Point. As you can see, we are exactly below the Golden Gate Bridge. And from here you can see the gun mount of the cannons facing the San Francisco Bay. So this Fort Point was constructed in the 18th century, so earlier than the Golden Gate Bridge. So you can imagine, guys, during that time the Golden Gate Bridge is not yet existing. So the view from the Fort Point is open to the Pacific Ocean and also to the San Francisco Bay. So it has a clear sight against any hostile ships of any possible invaders. That's why the location is very strategic, guys. So all the ships that needs to go to San Francisco Bay cannot evade the location of the Fort Point. So it's really a very nice fortification in this area. Thank you for watching. Please click like and leave your comments below. If you are not yet subscribed, please do not forget to tap the subscription button and hit the notification bell to get updated with my future uploads. See you on my next video.